I'm going to start tonight with a man known at the time as the father of the American Revolution. Which one is that? This one. He's now all but forgotten. You probably know him for the beer. Oh yeah, Samuel Adams, I love him. He made beer, right? No, he didn't. Americans had seen very few successes, many defeats. If you ever get frustrated or down in your life, if you ever think, I don't know, we're not going to make it, the Tea Parties, you just read about George Washington. George Washington lost every single battle he fought for over a year. During the opening stages of the war, loser. By 1777, prospects were really looking bad. Little hope for the overall victory in the war. By September, the army had been driven out of New York. I just read a book on George Washington and the crossing of the Delaware just the other day, and I was reading it again, and it talked about when Washington looked over the river and he saw New York, and it was over, and he wept. And his soldiers went, okay, the leader's crying, that's not really a good thing. We had lost everything. We had lost the Ticonderoga, upstate New York. And then September 11th. Yeah, there was another one. This time George Washington. He was defeated at the Battle of Brandywine in Delaware. We lost 200 soldiers. We had 500 wounded. 400 were captured. Now, keep in mind that we only had 14,000 troops. That's a huge defeat. And the troops, after this defeat, they were like, okay, you know what? I think we're on the wrong side here. We're losing. I don't want to die. The troops deserted and the numbers fell to 6,000 troops. 10 days later in Pennsylvania, another 300 soldiers were killed or wounded and 100 captured at Paoli Massacre. Now, 2,500 total. There were only 20 members of the Continental Congress even standing together. They decided to meet to see if they should even continue the struggle for liberty. They're now saying, okay, remember that Declaration of Independence thing? You know, maybe that was a bad idea. But there was one guy that was present, and he didn't have a beer. Instead, he had what's on the bottom of that: faith. He was the delegate from Massachusetts. He had been involved in the cause of independence from the very beginning. He had, by this time, earned the title Father of the American Revolution. Didn't make him popular with the British. This is for his leadership before the Stamp Act in 1765 and everything else. King George was well aware of Adams' leadership in the rebellion, placing a bounty on his head and sending troops to actually go out and capture him. I'm going to show you this. After we lost in Brandywine and things were looking bleak, and Congress gets together, and he stood in front of Congress and he said, "Gentlemen, your spirits appear oppressed with the weight of public calamities." He then told them, "You don't show that to the American people." He told Congress, quote, "Our affairs, it is said, are desperate. If this be our language, then they are indeed. If we wear long faces are going to become fashionable. The eyes of the people are upon us." Sam Adams knew that if Congress openly showed their fear to the people, the cause of liberty would be over, because people will follow and say, it was like when George Washington wept. I don't think our leader should be crying. He also told them, now imagine, these are the people that signed the Declaration of Independence. These are brave, brave people. He said, "We have proclaimed to the world our determination to die freemen rather than slaves.